Okay, so this is just going to be an overview of saving an EPS file and did I say legacy EPS? Crap. This is a great way to start a video. Yeah, legacy EPS file. Okay, that's what my assumption was. So we're going to cover how to do that right now, and thought I had something else in my noggin. So, as I just mentioned, Illustrator is slightly different menu layout. So for saving a PNG, you'll have to do the export as. And then this is one thing I did not mention. It's like so integrated that I just overlook it. If you have stuff that's going off the artboard, right, and you only want to be exporting the stuff that's on the artboard, then when you have some of the export or saved options will give you that use artboards. Literally means like anything outside of that is going to be cut off. If you don't have this checked, if you just ignore the artboards, you could have something like, way over here, and that's going to save with the image. So you always want to use artboards. I mean, that's the whole thing. Another quick little tidbit, once we get into, I actually don't know how this is going to work because we're transitioning to P5 and I still haven't started working on that. That's my plan this coming week. I think we have the same abilities as we did with processing in terms of like using content. But traditionally when we get into working with code, we should be able to use images, and you could use transparent images. So in that event, you would still be able to export, and then it'll give you the option for transparency. So if you do want it to be transparent, like a logo, anything you want to preserve that, you would choose. And then obviously you choose, well, it's usually 72. But anyway, so if we were to just do a save as, like you normally save your project file, the only format we have right here is AI. Oh, I thought this was in a separate option, separate place. Maybe EPS is right here then. So how about using the EPS with artboards? EPS test. And I'll hit save. Yeah. So similar to Photoshop, when we were saving a PDF, when you get that PDF dialog box, that's basically kind of setting, taking the information from the program and transitioning to this file. Same premise here. The only thing you guys should really have to worry about is the version, and it literally says legacy formats now. So legacy literally is just old, right? It's a way to save it as an old format. And so this gives you experience number one, but also then I can potentially grade the projects on my MacBook, which is helpful to be able to kind of float around or do it some other place. So you would select CS6. You don't have to change that. I mean, you could choose high resolution if you wanted, maybe if you did it and it looks weird, but that's up to you. And the rest you really don't have to worry about. So it's really just making sure you switch it to CS6. I believe this little thing is meaning I changed something. And then you hit OK. And And some things might change. So you hit OK. And then you just look at it. You open it up and look at it. And if it looks drastically different for some reason, like if it's missing something, you could just let me know. In the, when you guys submit your project statement in your folder, you could just put in there like, oh, my EPS file is it's missing some stuff, and then I'll just grade your for sure. Make sure to grade yours on this computer. But yeah, anybody have questions? EPS file? So I mean, that's also you're still going to save and upload the AI file, but this is like an alternative to a PDF where it'll still save your vector data. So yeah, I'll be able to open basically your project with that EPS file in Illustrator, and it should show up the exact same way.
How do you upload the fonts from the font book? Because I realized I didn't do that yet.
Onto your own computer?
Because I didn't expand all of my text. So because I was editing text on the path. So
Yep.
how do I, because it says on the thing in the like submission sheet, you have to submit the text that you used with it as well.
Yeah, so I give you guys the option. You could kind of do either way that you want. You could, like, in theory, just duplicate the text layer and hide the original. And then that duplicated layer, you can expand it. So it's no longer type. So I will then see your, like, the image that you made rather than like a placeholder font. Do you know what I mean? Or you could include the font in the folder with your submission. So FontBook specifically is like the program on Mac computers that allows you to add the font to your computer so you can use it. So if you were to include that font with your submission, I would then be able to take that and put it in my font book, and then I have access to it, and then I can see your font correctly.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. How do I save the font file onto the Adobe file?
So that I'm aware of, I don't think you can save it to the, like, attach it to the Adobe file or embed it in the Adobe file. In InDesign, you can like package the file, which then spits out a folder, and the font's included in the folder. So I haven't done this in quite a while. Did you download the font, or is it just, no, probably not.
No, I used I mean, it's a Windows font because I was trying to get a copy of the Google font Futura. It's like product sans or something like that, but they don't it's not available because it's their proprietary font.
Yeah, let's see. I haven't done this for a while, so let's
So I used Arial instead, but I realized that's not the go-to for Macs. It's only the go-to for Windows.
I don't even know if I've actually done this myself, because any kind of font work, I always use InDesign. So let me have to walk through this. It's a good question. I guess one of those things like, oh, it's there, you do it, but maybe not. Well, the font is on your computer. It's just a matter of locating it so you can drag and drop, copy and paste.
Yeah, I was just confused. Well, because I didn't want to make it fit on the path. I sometimes had to edit the text a little bit, so that's why I didn't want to expand. Because if it didn't fit on the path, then I'd have to change it. So
that's why I suggested, like, before you submit it, you could always duplicate layers and hide the original, like, original font layer. I'll still get, like, in that event, I would still get the error warning dialog box. But if you put a note like, original font, original type layer, and it's hidden, I know that, I know you're fine. It's just one of those conundrums. But yeah, in terms of adding the font, I'm going to have to look it up here. so we can all know together. I was thinking that if you can add it with font book, you should be able to, yeah, export maybe. Let's try desktop. Save. Okay, let's see what happens. Exported fonts. There it is. Yep. Bold. So, and I'm assuming, let's see if I can find one that has multiple right here. So if I have that selected and I export fonts and hit save, the name, I didn't save any names correctly, but that's fine. Yeah. So you're on a Mac?
No, I'm on PC.
Oh, you're on a PC. You'll have to look it up. Somewhere on your
I'm assuming it's
computer.
going to be similar. I just wanted to make, well, because like I didn't want to, I know you're using a Mac, so I need you to be able to access the font as well. And it's a Windows font.
Right. No, totally. It would be the same way as far as you including in your submission. It's just finding where it is on the computer. You know, you just have to look it up, or I can try to look it up right now. Let's see. Where are fonts on PC? On the taskbar, type fonts, then select the font settings. Fonts will be listed under available fonts. I don't know. Let's see, where are fonts? Where's the fonts folder in Windows 10? If you use the Windows, can you see this? I don't know if this is like working or not. If you use the
I'm seeing it.
You found it? Oh, you're seeing this, yeah. I guess there's a hotkey with the Windows key plus the E button, which should bring up a prompt window, like an address bar. And then you should just be able to type shell : fonts. And that should bring up the folder of all the fonts. Again, I haven't used the Windows for a while, but yeah, it should be just a quick Google thing, like figure out where the folder is, and then, yep, then just, you could then, once you have that file, that font, make sure you're copying it from the source, not like taking it. Just like in font book that I just went through, it was an export, right? And then you just drag this export in to your folder. Yeah, good question. Anybody else have a question on the EPS thing? For some reason, I thought there was a second thing we were covering, but EPS. Oh, my confusion was just reading like CS6. I was thinking you can also save an AI file that way if you ever need to. There's an option in Photoshop to also save a legacy Photoshop file. But yeah, if you want to save as, if you select your AI, when you hit save, same thing at the top, you can pick a legacy file. So I don't need that for the main AI file, just the EPS is good. So, yep.
I don't see the Illustrator options when I try to save as. It just takes me to the file box and it doesn't show me that dialog box that's up right now on your screen.
So you're saying you went to File, Save As, right?
Yes.
and then you just, choose artboards, you select EPS, and then when you hit save, it just saves.
Yeah.
You're not getting this.
It gives me the drop down. It says Illustrator EPS, and then I click save, and then nothing else is popping up.
Does it actually save it? Like in your destination, did it save it there?
Let me check. Also, the Illustrator's been a little bit buggy today too. Do you think it might be like frozen or something?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, now I see it. Sorry, it was hidden behind a window. Okay, never mind.
Sure.
Forget what I said.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna stop this.